Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Now we are going to move into a completely new learning. Like I said, many times you learn the subject, you have come here to learn biomimicry, but you also learn connected things. Because only when you learn the connected things can the main subject become meaningful, become strong for you. Right? So therefore, are you ready to learn? I'm going to give you at least 3 or 4 tools for learning. Let's start with a very simple tool. Right? I remember it was about, I think, maybe 10-15 years ago. I had to go abroad for some work, and during that time I found that there was a workshop on the tool that you're going to learn about now. There was a workshop on something called mind mapping, and I grabbed that opportunity. I said I want to learn it, and I learned mind mapping. It was a 4-day program. It was a big eye opener for me because it helped me. You'll see what mind mapping can do for you, and I want you to maybe at a later point discuss what is mind mapping. All right. So what you're going to learn now is mind mapping. So I'm going to quickly draw something on the screen. Right. Let's say I want to talk about the last. I've not talked about mind mapping yet, right? But I'm going to draw a mind map. Just watch what I do. I've not taught you mind mapping. I'm going to draw a mind map. So, okay, my name is Shiva. I want to speak about the last class. So, therefore, I've done something. Don't ask me what. And I have said, what is biomimicry? And then I have said, learning from nature. And then I have said, now, last class we also did nature's principles. I've drawn a mind map. Just watch what I did. I'm sure you watched what I did. I wrote 3 things on the board. Now let's see mind mapping. I'm going to give you about 5 or 6 pictures on mind mapping. I'm going to teach you mind mapping using those pictures, and then I'm going to ask you to compare my mind map and what you're going to learn and criticize my mind map. Tell me everything that's wrong with it, including the handwriting, right? Okay, let's do mind mapping now. So, I'm going to show you a mind map. One of the easiest ways to learn anything is to see it. So, no theory, just see the next mind map. Wow, that's the first thing, right? First thing. It's drawn by this brilliant mind mapper called Vanda North. Oh, she is a genius in mind mapping. You can see how she has signed off her name, right? Vanda North. Now, look at this mind map. Look at this mind map. And I want you to answer questions along with me. It's unfortunate I can't see you, but when I ask you a question, I want you to quickly take a book and write it down, right? Answer the questions. And then at the end of that, all the answers will be, what is the mind map about? Okay, question number one. Question number one, what is the subject of the mind map? What is the subject of the mind map? Many of you, I'm certain, because you're all very intelligent, many of you will have said that the subject of the mind map is LoRa bias. So, you will learn the rules of mind mapping by looking at a mind map. So, what is the first rule of mind mapping? What's the first rule? I'm sure you're saying it. The first rule of mind mapping is that the subject of the mind map is at the center of the page. That's first rule. Rule number one. Subject of the mind map is at the center of the page. And then what happens? And then what happens? You see how many thick lines are there on this map? How many thick lines? You can't make a mistake in this. Yes, 7. What are the thick lines? The thick lines are looks, LoRa, student, lives, music, hobbies and family. So that's second. The second rule is draw the thick lines that come to you as it comes. So the minute you think about LoRa bias, you want to, so we are talking about Wanda North. The minute she thinks about LoRa bias, she thinks about LoRa bias as looks. She looks at LoRa bias as LoRa herself, LoRa bias as a student, where LoRa bias lives, LoRa bias is music, LoRa bias is hobbies, and LoRa bias is family. Tuck. 7 lines. Rule number 2, draw the thick lines quickly. But you have to name the lines. So what is the rule about naming the line? What is the rule about naming the line? Where are the lines? Where is the word? Where is the word? Word is on top of the line. So rule number 3, write down the words on top of the line. How many words are there? How many words? 1. So rule number 5, rule number 5, 4, 5. Rule number 4, write down one word only. Now you're all saying, Shiva, you made a mistake, right? There's no mistake in mind map. You can do what you want. I'm just taking the liberty, that's all. I'm just teaching it to you. You later on try and find out how it's comfortable for you. There's no tool in the world that you must do this way, this way, this way. You have to take the liberty of what you're comfortable in, right? So, rule number 4 is that there's only one word, no 2 words. And the word is on top of that thick line. So, LoRa bias, looks, LoRa, student, live, music, hobbies, family. That's done. Then what happens? What do you see? So now you are a mind mapper, you are thinking about LoRa bias and you say, wait, I want to talk some more about her looks. I want to talk some more about her looks. So what do? You draw 3 thin lines, thinner than the thick line, which is a sub-description or a description of the main thick line. The thick line is looks and the three thin branches, let's name it as a branch, the thick branch and the 3 sub branches which are thinner than the main branch. The sub branches are thinner than the main branch, but they are all same color. Wow. So therefore, looks start from the center of the page. There is only one word above looks. There is no 2 words. Looks is above the line. Looks is a thick branch, and then branches off into 3 sub branches. The naming convention is easy. So therefore, one branch is called the hair of LoRa bias. She wants to describe LoRa bias as freckles and chin. Now she is saying, wait, it's not enough. I want to make more of a description of hair. I want to talk about Laura Bias. I want to talk about Laura Bias's looks. I want to talk about Laura Bias's hair, how it looks, but I want to talk more about hair. I want to talk more about hair, and therefore, what do you do? You have two thinner branches. Can I say sub branch? Branch, sub branch, sub branch. Not Hindi, English, sub branch. And in that, what do? I write ginger. Because why? Because the color of her hair is ginger. I want to say it. I want to say it. I don't want to leave it out because that's what will complete my thinking. So I say ginger. And I say bob cut, that's a style of the hair. Now it's apparent, right? Look, with just one line, you have learnt mind mapping. Laura Bias, the main subject of the mind map, in the center of the page, thick branch emanating from the center, which is the looks, which is of one color, sub branch emanating from the thick branch, same color, sub branch emanating from the sub branch, different, same color, but description. That's it. So therefore, looks, hair, ginger, bob. Ginger, bob. And then freckles. You know what the artist wants to do now? What the mind mapper wants to do? The mind mapper is now imaginative, using the imagination. And say, I want to actually show freckles, but I'm not allowed to draw anything else. I'm not allowed to say more than one line. So what do I do? If you're not allowed to say more than one word, what do? I draw. Look how she's drawn the freckles. Freckles are those small spots, right, on the cheek. So she's got freckles. And then look at the chin. Look at the chin. What is Laura Bias's chin? How big, small, medium? What is it? Big chin. So big, B-I-G, big, depicting bigness, largeness. And it's in brackets. B-I-G in big capital letters, shouting. The lips are, the chin is actually shouting to you, saying, oh, I have a big chin. And that is one branch of Laura Bias. What have you learned? If you had to write this, you have to write paragraph, right? It's so boring to read. Are you bored with this mind map? No. So let's see the rest of the mind map. It's very easy now. Laura Bias, about Laura, sub branch, 19 years, was, not anymore, was lovely, fun, crazy. And look at how crazy has been depicted. Beautiful, right? Just beautiful. And then she was a student of photography. She's from the Bournemouth University. She is graduated in magazine and newspapers. Now start reading the mind map. It's so easy. Where does she live? Main branch lives in Bournemouth. She lives in a flat with a new, you want to say red, but you can't say red door, right? You can't say red door, it's not allowed. So you say door and you paint the door, you draw the road and paint it red. Is it red or pink? It doesn't matter, whatever color you see. And then music, what music? She plays the steps music, I don't know what it is, I hope I can learn it someday. Westlife music. And she plays the piano. Look at the beauty of the piano there. So beautifully drawn, right? You know, after this, you will want to learn sketching. You will want to learn drawing. Unfortunately, that's been a huge problem in my life. I'm very weak at drawing. But I still want to draw, but I still don't know how to draw. Maybe some of you here, please send me some mind maps, no, please? It'd be nice to see many of your mind maps, what you do. And her hobbies are photography, shopping with boyfriend, sports. Look at sports. What is Laura Bias? Laura Bias is very good in 3 sports and she comes first, depicted by number 1 over here. She's good in swimming, in tennis, and any sport that relaxes her. And then of course family. This one very, when I teach mind mapping, this is the most popular branch. Because all of us love to speak about our family, right? So look at this, family. Dad seems to be a little young, no? 42 years. So dad, his name is Andrew. His age is 42. Mom is Marlene, 39. Sam has got big muscles, therefore the muscles are being depicted as big muscles. So Toby is wild, 21. Alex is sad and 17. Yeah. And so what? Okay, exercise for you. Exercise for you. Let's see you close your eyes. Close your eyes for a minute. Test. Don't open your eyes. Test. What is Laura Bias's hair color? Okay. If you say ginger, you're right. And it also tells you that when you use pictures, your memory is much better. So one of the advantages of mind mapping is mind mapping helps you to remember things. That's the use of mind mapping. The use of mind mapping is mind mapping helps you to remember things, right? So that is the first mind map that you probably have seen in your life. If many of you have already done mind mapping, try and find out what you can learn from this mind map, right? So therefore, but now what we will do, we look at examples. That's all. Now you are all mind mappers. It's easy. Before you draw the first mind map of your life, let's see about 5 or 6 examples of mind mapping. We saw all the rules, right? How many rules? There could be more rules, okay? I may not have covered all the rules, but that doesn't matter. See, I don't believe in giving you all the rules. It's not right. You come up with a rule and write to me saying, Shiva, there's one more rule. Right now, what are the rules? What are the basic rules? Rule number 1, the subject of the mind map is the center of the page. Yes. Rule number 2, think of the main branches first, draw the main branches first. Fine. 3, put the name of the branch above the branch. Great. You can have sub branch of the main branch, but same color, thinner. Very good. Then you can have sub branch of the sub branches, same color, but thinner. Very good. That's it. You can have as many sub branches as you want. You can't do more than two words on a line. Therefore, you draw lots and lots of pictures. Basic rules. Basic rules. And now once you start, there are a lot of books on mind mapping. And once you start, Tony Buzan is credited. We must talk about Tony Buzan. Tony Buzan is the one who started mind mapping, right? He's written some great books on mind mapping. There's also software. For many of you who want to use software, just go to, I think, mindjet.com or something like that. Look it up and you can find out whether you can do mind map digitally without having to draw. For me, I'm always comfortable drawing. So let's see some more mind maps just to help you understand mind maps, right? Look at this mind map. Laws of mind mapping. What we learned, right? So therefore, landscape, I forgot. So hold the paper landscape mode, right? Start with a blank paper, the center of the page, the lines, the central line, all these are rules. Just keep it with you. I'm not going to go through each and every one. These are all rules. You may discover some new rules in this. Find out if you adopt them. We have learned the mind map in a very simple way. It's always nice to learn it simple way and then look at the more complicated stuff. My job is to help you learn mind mapping, start you off on a journey, right? Start you off on the journey of mind mapping. So now as I'm speaking to you, start writing what you remember, right? Look at this presentation once more. Look at the beauty of the presentation, again drawn by Vanda North. So this is how to draw a mind map. So these are all, rules get thick, rules get more and more deeper, draw quickly, use capitals, all these are extra rules, anything to help you understand mind mapping in a better way. Look at this is drawn by a kid. Well, look at the way he's drawn mind maps. So he wants to do scalar quantities done by a student in a school. And he's saying he's depicted length, temperature, charge, pressure, frequency, everything, beautiful pictures, right? Everything. Scalar quantities is depicted by speed, time, volume, everything. Look at the pictures. I think this mind map, the merit is in the pictures the kid has used. the pictures. And how pictures, they say, right, speak 1,000 words. So, depicting length in picture, depicting temperature by picture, etc. So, here the drawing skills of that kid really come forth. So, these are uses of mind maps. You can use it for learning, you can use it for learning, you can use it for meetings. So, when a meeting is going on, only thing, remember to tell the person who is conducting the meeting saying, I am doing a mind map. Actually, what happened was, I don't know, about 10 years ago when I was in TCS, I had learned mind mapping, and there was this man speaking. It was a very important speech, and I wanted to impress that person who was speaking. So, I told him, see, I am going to be writing something. I am not distracted, I am writing something about your speech. Is okay. So, at the end of that speech, I actually drew a mind map of his speech and gave it to him. He was so happy. He was so happy because he looked at the mind map and he knew what all he had spoken. You can use the mind map to go through the process of a problem, right? Problem definition, identification, solving, personal. So, whatever you want to do about a problem, you can put a mind map. You say problem that I have and analyze the problem using mind maps. You can use it to plan. Many people use mind map for shopping because you tend to forget things while shopping, right? So, therefore, people use mind maps. Presentation, this is where I found, look, I think I made one full slide without anything on the slide using the mind map, right? About 10-15 minutes ago. So, you can use it for presentation. You can also use it to remember things. Suppose you watched a movie, you want to remember the movie after about 5 years, 10 years, all you come back and do is put the name of the movie and you put the branches and you store it somewhere. 10 years later, you pick it up, you're able to connect the words to. So, that's the what should I say, the technique behind mind map, that the connections, right? The words help you to connect. And when you read Tony Buzan, you will find more of that, right? How the brain functions and all that, which is not what I'm going to explain here. I just want you to become a mind mapper. And then many of you who are interested can go deep into mind mapping, find out how it works, the function of the mind, how the brain works, what is the connection between doing those lines in that particular order and the brain and all that. That's for you to learn on your own. And so, you can also do mind maps. For instance, suppose you learn about oxygen, right? And then you put oxygen in the center of the page, you draw the branches and all that. And then you learn it. One day before the exam, you can pick up the whole thing. You can pick up your mind map of oxygen, which you did about 2 months ago, and suddenly you start to remember everything about oxygen. The problems about oxygen, the good things about oxygen, the information about oxygen, everything you got. And supposing when you go to the exam, you get a question about oxygen, you can quickly take a rough page and you can quickly draw a mind map of oxygen and use that mind map to write an essay on oxygen. See how easy it becomes? Because therefore, what is mind mapping? Essentially, anyone? What is mind mapping? If you have to describe mind mapping, what will you describe it as? Go back to the oxygen example. What does it help you do? Remember. That's right. Remember, memorize. So, to remember things, you use mind mapping. So, let's look at the next slide. Look at this, right? Look at this, and this is a speech by someone in the office. And from now on, if you have to make a speech, you should be volunteer. Say, I want to make the speech. Why? Because you have the mind map in front of you. So, apparently Joe is retiring and someone wants to make a speech, right? And the person who wrote the mind map saying, I want to make a speech for Joe. So, therefore, what does he do? Look at the branches he's drawn. The main branches are retiring, career, success and toast. Only 4 branches. Therefore, there is no rule. Okay, you don't have to draw, oh, Shiva told us 7 branches. No, you can draw 1 branch. You can got 2 branches, 20 branches, 100 branches. There is no limit. Here there are 4 main branches. So, retiring. So, therefore, okay, let me make a speech, right? Ladies and gentlemen, today Joe is retiring. He's been in this company for 32 years. This is a sad day for all of us. His career has been very varied career. he was a team member. He started as a team member, but extremely popular. And then he, every staff in the office felt welcome by him. He always supported his colleagues, and he was always helping with a lot of advice. And his shoulder was always available to cry on. And then his success is because of his professionalism. And he's very efficient in finance, and he's going to be sorely missed. So let's all raise a toast to Joe, to honor Joe, and we wish that Joe has a great retired life. How is that speech? Brilliant, no? Not because of me, but because of the mind map. So next time you have to make a speech, make a presentation, instead of boring 20, 30 slides, try and do it in one mind map. One of our students, she actually made a mind map during an interview, because instead of slides, and she actually was selected because it's a very nice creative way of presenting things. The only challenge for me is drawing. So what you have learned is mind maps, right? And I wish from now on, every time you learn something, you quickly take a piece of paper and you do a quick mind map. Do a mind map of the entire biomimicry course and post it to us. And you'll see how powerful it is, right? When you're teaching, when you're learning, mind maps. Don't forget, if you want more information on mind maps, go to Tony Buzan. Any of his books will give you much more information on mind maps. Important tool because now you know a new tool for learning something, for remembering something. Yes. So I hope I get to see lots and lots of mind maps from you.